Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, I've been retaining semen off and on since I was 14. And, made a lot of enemies in that time. Now, thankfully, I'm on a YouTube channel being subject to nothing more than YouTube's terms of services and the YouTube algorithm. There's not much else that can be done other than slander to project negative light on my videos. And I say this because I just revealed something without noticing that I was recording. So, if you saw what that was, you either knew what it was and were terrified that someone else had shown it to you in a drawing rather than another format, or you had no idea what it was. I'll show it to you again. Oh, you can't see it. Ha ha ha, that's funny. There we go. If you know what that is, or at least what that's trying to be, then, feel a little bad for you. So, like I said, I've been retaining semen since I was 14, off and on. Obviously, I've been around the block, and I'm not glowing white, so let's talk. One of the most important things I've ever learned is that friends teach you what you want to know, and enemies teach you what you need to know. And that's something you want to know, so we're friends, right? I learned some things from a con man. Now, a con man's always your enemy. So these are things I needed to know. And I guess if I'm teaching them to you from a con man, you're learning from the con man too. So these are things you need to know as well. They seem to work pretty alright. So the first thing is, who do you listen to? Do you listen to the con man? I mean, no, you don't listen to the con man. So, like, in this equation, who else is there to answer with? And if you said the con man is the correct answer to who do you listen to, then, I mean, I'm sorry to say, but you're buying snake oil. The only person you can listen to in that equation is yourself, because you're the only person in there. So always listen to yourself. And that's the first lesson. The second lesson was, you don't know what you don't know. And you could take this a few different ways. You have not because you ask not, is one way to put it. But that's a little convoluted and esoteric and backwards, and, well, you don't know what you don't know. So, I mean, we know what we know, unless we forgot it, and we know that we don't know certain things, but what is it that we don't know that we don't know? Maybe that's what our enemies teach us. The third thing he taught me was that you need to be using the mind a lot more than you take physical action to complete your goals. And I think that one's true, but you'd have to do some testing yourself to figure that one out. Is it more effective to force something through brute labor, or just think about a smarter way to do it? Congratulations, you've won $1 million. Now, this $1 million is guaranteed. You have to be present to win, and it's paid out in increments of $8 an hour. Congratulations, here's a mop. You have to do what I say, or else I'm not going to give you the $1 million. It's a job. And the last thing is you have to be really good at what you're doing, so good that you can do it without realizing you're doing it. I think my eyes are pretty. But that's something that our enemy taught us. Why? Why? Because there's more to it. And only friends can teach us what we want to know. So, the last thing he taught us was that we need to really hone in on these basics. We need to master these things. But I found a little quirk. And it's in the first lesson. Who do you listen to? Now, if you take who do you listen to, and you write out the first letters of each word, who do you listen to, you can also piece out what did you learn today. And I think that's remarkable. What did you learn today? You could ask yourself that every day. What did you learn today? What is helping you accomplish your goals? And then we move back to the fourth one, or the third one, of we need to be thinking of our goals more. So in a way, it really is just the four basics. Are con men our friends? Why would a con man tell us these things? What does it mean? These things are called blazing stars. Don't ask me how I know they're called blazing stars. It might get me in trouble. I don't know what they do or how they're formed, but these are real magic right here. They are formed out of the Akash. When they appear in real life, they look like a golden light being drawn by someone's finger. Don't ask me how they're formed. Don't ask me what they do. I don't know. But people do. And why they're done? There are so many questions to these blazing stars. I watched a TikTok. Not a TikTok, I don't watch TikTok. A YouTube short or a Facebook reel, something one of those. And it was a woman talking about Elon Musk having done one of these blazing stars at the age of 6. She called them Stargates. Now, there are probably many names to them, but I derived the term blazing star from the book Morals and Dogma. It's a book written by a Freemason, 4 Freemasons, and it's very esoteric to the point where a non-Freemason does not understand a thing that's being said. It's just commentary on their rituals, and their rituals are only passed down by word of mouth. So, we don't don't have a way to really understand what a blazing star is unless we're taught what a blazing star is. And in order to do that, we have to give up some piece of our humanity. Meaning that we have to give our time, money, and energy, our humanity, to the Freemasons. Because they seem to be the only reliable source that I know of that can teach what a blazing star is and how it is performed, what it does, and why it is done. But every single time that I've seen them done, it was with some amount of malice. It's a very normal looking shape, isn't it? It's just a pentagram, but they're all squiggly. And they're gold, or bronze. They look more like bronze. I called them burning copper for a while until I found out that they're in the book, Morals and Dogma. They're called a very the most relevant symbol in Freemasonry is not the square and compass, it is the blazing star. Why? Is it power over someone? If I recall correctly, it's seen as the will of God. So why is the will of God a art that is able to be taught? Friends teach you what you want to know, enemies teach you what you need to know. Well, I'd love to stay and chat for a while, but it's all very saddening that there are people doing Stargates